Well, now we are going to have a chat with Miss Paulson and special guest star Holland Taylor, my favorite. So let's give them a second to log on and request. Hold, please. Here she is. You're having you guys are, of course, having really good hair. Both of you are
No, you're the one who's got the good hair. I mean, I know this isn't what we're supposed to be talking about, but your hair is
air
beautiful.
Your hair is beautiful.
We
both think it.
About you guys complimenting me. So we've had a day. We have talked to Cody Fern. We have talked to
Cody. Did you talk to Cody Fern?
How beautiful.
Did you tell him that I tried to do his exit? Not very well. Did you tell him that I tried? No. No one does it better than Billy Lord.
Billy Lord sounds like an actual Aussie. That's what's so. Well, I'll have. I'm going to talk to Billy. Here's who I'm talking to. Wait, talk to Gabby. Talk to Cody. Talk to Angelica. I'm going to talk to Billy tomorrow. We were going to talk today, but there's a baby and things have happened. I'm going to talk to Billy Porter tomorrow. I'm hoping to get Beanie Feldstein involved. Oh, Cody just wrote nail
Cody?
it.
I didn't nail it.
I wish that we could have more than 2 people on the live. So listen, first of all, I love you both very much. And I know that we've all been, Holland. I mean, don't get me started.
That's ridiculous.
Sarah, I do.
Holland is actually more beloved by everyone I know that knows her than even by me, which is crazy because I love her a lot. But I happen to know a lot of people that just want to be friends with me so they can get close to this guy.
Yeah,
Leslie would admit it.
From an example of that.
Leslie is only interested in me because of you.
I'm pretty sure I shoved you to the side. I was like,
on a couple of occasions, she's like, I'm sitting next to Holland. I'm sitting across from Holland. Yeah.
We have things we discuss.
I love the 2. I know that we've all been very anxious. I can't believe it that we are now really less than 3 days away from the election.
I'm sweating, Leslie, just at the thought. You know, it's really.
I haven't been. So this is Swing Left has something called the last weekend, and this is the last weekend, and this is when we're encourage everybody to vote. And I also believe that voting is not enough this time. This is about I've been doing phone banking now for a few months, and I'm calling people in swing states like Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Florida.
Do you feel in general and in the main that people are responsive, or are more people hanging up right when you call?
No, people just don't like callers and people they don't know. So
no one likes a cold call. But
no, when I get somebody, they either have said to me, "Oh, I already voted early," or "Hey, can you help me figure out my polling place?" Or
"Oh, how amazing! That's so great."
It's great. Now, I want to just say quickly, you can go to vote.com. You can go to Vote Save America, and they will have
Did you just burp in the middle of saying all that as if it were a non-event? You were like, you can go to.
Look, I'm going to be honest. I had brownies. And now
brownies is often a burp-inducing food.
Little acid reflux.
I had a brownie.
So here's what I want to say also is that
sorry. I can't talk to you like this, even though we're doing the Lord's work in a really proper way, but I can't talk to you as if I'm not actually talking to you the way I talk to you. I'm not going to do it.
I barely handle it because I can't look at Holland. Look how, I'm sorry, this is not about this, but Holland, you are the prettiest person I've ever seen. It. Like, I can't even look. Like, it's too much. It's like looking at the sun. It's like staring at the sun. So here's what I wanted to ask you guys. I wanted to know, well, first of all, Holland, I know. Sarah, your vote off at a Holland wore, don't whisper during a live.
Sorry, it was about voting.
Sweet nothings.
It was about voting.
Sweet nothings.
Or a fantastic pink suit to go vote at the.
We did. Holland voted in person at the Hollywood Bowl.
That was a super majority suit. That was Cecile Richards' organization that she began when she left Planned Parenthood. And
you looked.
There lots of people wore that suit to vote, and I would wear it for every march, every peaceful protestation, every birthday party, or maybe just no reason at all.
Now, did you?
It was wonderful to vote. I voted at the Hollywood Bowl. It was effortless. Man, that was the happiest time I was ever at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
swung right into parking lot B, 1,000 spots to choose from under the towering pines and beautiful breezes and friendly people and wonderful cheery pollsters. It was actually one of the happier things in recent days.
Now, weren't the pollsters the best? I love the pollsters.
The best. You know, I heard someone say the slogan, volunteers win elections. And that is really true. Volunteers win elections. And another thing that's really true is when Democrats vote, they win.
Right, which is, you know, traditionally, Democrats don't vote as much.
Well, I think we know this because the GOP wouldn't be working overtime to try to take away votes, right, because they know that if everybody voted, they would lose. So they are with thousands of lawsuits across this country in every county you can think of to try to say, oh, you know how we said that your vote would be counted for 9 days after your ballot, your absentee ballot? No, we're taking that away now. No, it has to be counted on election day. Yeah. And you know that these are right-wing Trump supporting judges who allow this to happen.
Because they can't offer an actual reason. They cannot, what could they say is their reason? We want to stop people from voting, so they just don't say anything. They just change the rules. It's really shocking.
It's criminal is what it is.
Well, it's insidious. So we only have one thing we can do. And the only thing we can do is vote in such massive numbers that there is no world where they can send this up to their new little doll, Amy Coney Barrett. They can't send it up to that, I'm sorry, fucking asshole, Brett Kavanaugh or whatever the fuck. So, and he's already made it clear, by the way. And don't worry, the two of them, you know, were part of the Ken Starr investigation that were helping to count the votes in Bush v. Gore. So they are well versed in this, and they pick those people very purposefully. So what we need to do is we need to vote such massive that they can't invalidate our vote. So I want to know what
Leslie Grossman becomes the teacher. I really like it. Teacher Grossman, like I'd be like, ooh, call on me, Teacher Grossman.
This is what I wanted to ask you guys. I wanted to know what were the issues that were closest to your heart and why, what you were really thinking of where you were casting your vote and what meant the most to you, besides getting Trump out of office, which is the overarching thing.
Well, how about my right to exist and to love who I love?
Isn't that a big deal?
It's sort of simple. Go ahead.
Who would deny this? Who would deny? Who would deny this love? But I agree with you. That is, I mean, that's something that's very much on my mind. You've got to go in that booth and you got to vote like all your friends' rights are
friends and everyone's rights are at stake more so than ever. Yes, Holland Taylor.
For me, it was much more global.
Wasn't personal about you know.
It is to our love, that's for sure. But the global sense of our most trusted foundation of government has been really sullied and defiled. And, you know, it's the thing that's shocking presently about the president when he speaks is that in the American DNA is that a president, when he's speaking publicly, speaks the truth. The few times before Trump, the few times when a president has actually baldly lied as a public statement have been country-shaking scandals. When I hear the president speaking in his rallies, as he currently does, saying things like, you aren't going to have electricity, you aren't going to have air conditioning, you aren't going to have oil, you aren't going to have gas for your cars, you aren't going to have, you know, food on your table. I mean, saying things when our DNA tells us that a president speaks truthfully.
Yeah.
So for me, the whole world is upside down when we have a president who literally almost cannot speak without lying when he's speaking to the public. He lied about the coronavirus. He said it wasn't that big a deal. It was just like a flu. You get over it easily. When since February, he's known it was an airborne killer that was wily and that they really didn't have very good treatments and still don't for it. I mean, that a president would lie like this day after day, week after week, and year after year to the American populace is to me turns the world on its ear. And we've got to set it right again and restore trust. The public has lost trust in government and even in the post office. This is truly of tragic proportions, and voting was something I rushed to do.
Well, something you and I have talked about in Holland, that was virtuosic, but something that you and I have talked about, Holland, don't you dare, is, you know, that Republicans are notorious for just cutting as many educational programs as they can, because what do they love? An undereducated and a voting bloc that is that doesn't know what they're doing. And we've talked about how the public
Yes.
school is unrecognizable now from what it was.
Unrecognizable from what it was in my childhood. When the middle years, middle school and high school, we were the best educated populace on the planet. #1 in middle school and high school worldwide in the 50s, which was the glorious birth of an extraordinary period of prosperity and expansion in our country. And now we're 28th or 26th, depending on which study you look at, and behind countries you never heard of. That the richest country in the world should be behind in the level of education for the general populace, countries that you never heard of, is really shocking and deplorable, and will take many decades to correct, if it ever is corrected.
But you know where it starts?
It starts
the opportunity for some righting of the ship. November 3rd.
Yes.
So here's the deal. When, for people that are, you know, the thing that's so insidious about what the Republicans are doing is to do everything they can to take away your vote. And they do it in obvious ways, but then the more insidious ways that they do it is they want you to feel like, my vote doesn't mean anything. I don't want to do
That's
too
right.
hard. What I'm going to say is this. That's the truth. Is Winnie sneezing?
No.
That's the door.
Got it. Okay. That we only have a couple days. Yes, the lines are going to be long. Is it horrifying that in our country that people have to wait hours and hours to vote? Yes, it is. But you got to do it. And when you get in line, if you are in line for so long that the polls close, don't get out of line. Stay in line. If you get to the polls and there is some shady character,
Funky shading characters.
what can you do if you feel that there is some voter suppression going on, some intimidation going on? You call 1-866-OUR-VOTE. You call them right then. They will get on it. You go to Vote Save America. You go to
make sure you're, sorry to interrupt you, Teacher Leslie, but that means your cell phone needs to be charged up. You need to have
a backup
charger,
a charged pack to load.
You don't want to have a need to make a phone call and be unable to because you've been on that line for a long time. So
what is the number to call if there's any harassment or difficulty?
Harassment, by the way. Harassment.
It is 1-866-OUR-VOTE. And, you know, I spoke about this with Gabby, that this is going to be the most consequential election of the century, truly. And I don't want, can you hear us? I don't want anyone to look back and feel like I didn't do enough. I could have done more, or even worse, I didn't do anything. If you're not old enough to vote, you call your auntie, you call your uncle, you call your cousins, you make sure your mom and your dad have a voting plan. You reach out to all the people that are over 18 in your life. You ask your grandparents if they need someone to help them fill out their ballots. Go on. Yes.
Because the part of the thing that is the opportunity that presents itself here is the fact that what you're doing is not just for yourself. So if you are not old enough to vote, but there are people in your world that are, and you think they're not exactly sure how, what, when, why, you know, it's your job to educate them. It's your job to make your voice heard in that way. You know, every vote cast is actually for your brother, for your sister, for your neighbor, for your mother, for your father, for people you do not know. It's to make sure that everybody is on equal footing to the best of our country's capabilities at the current moment.
Well
Agree.
done.
And keep in mind that, you know, I was an Elizabeth Warren fan, and I voted for her in the primary.
Well, me too.
Joe Biden was not my first choice. But that, I take the bus that's arrived at the station. I also happen to think that Joe Biden is a decent, kind, good man. And I think that we got to get him into office, and then we work on the changes that we want to see.
That is exactly right.
Don't say, well, this isn't my perfect candidate, so I'm giving up altogether. This is too important. It's too important.
It's also, down ballot is also extraordinarily important right now. We can't just think about our highest office. President has powers. You wouldn't know it with our current president, but
I do want to. Well, things even in your most local elections are hugely important.
That's right.
So that's a big deal. And also, I do know that, like, let's say in California, there's so many. I mean, what is that sweatshirt?
We'll talk about that later.
And a case in point, when Obama was elected president 2 years later, he was not.
He was handcuffed.
He
couldn't. He was unable to.
All the people who voted him in as president did not vote for him to have a Senate and a House of Representatives
that would support
his. So
his.
he didn't have a government.
That's right.
And it was because enough people didn't vote. They voted for him, but they didn't give him a team.
Correct.
Because we said, oh, good, Obama won. I'm going to take a nap now. And guess what happened? The Tea Party and all these people were like, ooh, and they jumped in. And so now we're going to show them that we know how to do that too. And I don't want those people making rules about my body, about my life, about my choices, and about my friends' choices. So wait, there was one more thing I was going to ask before we talked about something fun, and now I can't remember. But I know how passionate that you guys are and how much you care. And I just wanted to give people that extra push that if they can go, if there's polls open where you live tomorrow, and obviously they will be open on Monday. And if it's still Tuesday and you haven't done it, get it done. Do it. Please, please do it. And I'm telling you, when you go vote in person, there is a camaraderie. It is exciting. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. So on the California ballot, there's a lot of propositions and it's confusing. Yep. I did my research and there's things like vote no on 22 people, like Uber and Lyft are pulling some shady business.
Correct.
There's a lot of them, but let's say you go and you get there and you say, oh God, I haven't done my homework and I don't know what some of these things are. You don't have to fill everything out for your ballot to still count. If you want to just want to vote for the top of the ticket, do that and get out. It doesn't invalidate your ballot if you only vote for a few things. That's A. And B, California, and this might be in other states, I went online, I did my whole ballot electronically. It gave me a QR code that I printed out and I took that code with me. So all I had to do was put my ballot in, scan my QR code, all my choices went right into my ballot, 5 seconds. So easy peasy lemon squeezy. There were so many visors and masks and hand sanitizer, and they give you gloves so you don't have to touch the machine, and they were sanitizing. And I want everybody to have that feeling that I have and that I know you guys have, which is we did all we can do. It is not too late to call people in swing states and to just say, hey, make sure you're getting out to vote. Oh, if you filled out your ballot, it's too late to put it in the mail. You can take it.
You take it directly to your polling place.
And you don't have to wait in the long line. You can literally go to the side and just drop it in the box and leave. So is there anything else you guys would like to say?
I love you.
I love you. I love you both so much.
I'm so glad you did this, Leslie.
Well, I'm so glad you did that. I wish that it was, Paulson Taylor on the ticket. I don't know who's president, but if I could vote, let's be honest, it's Holland.
It's Holland.
You're the VP.
No, I'm not even VP. I think you're VP. Maybe I'm chief of staff.
You're definitely chief of something.
I'm chief of something.
Secretary of State?
Should we give her state?
You guys should discuss whether or not you're giving me state. I don't
It causes. Oh my God, this is beyond. And also, just to give the fans a little something, we have read the first 3 episodes of Horror Story.
Yeah.
And that people are going to be, I think they're going to be pleased.
I did a podcast with Ryan the other day, which is not going to be out for a while, where he did tell them what my character's name was, but I feel like I can't do it here.
Wow.
I want to.
Why?
So
because the podcast hasn't been released?
No, it won't. It's not released yet. But you know how he likes to disseminate this information and
then he says everything.
Yeah. He'll say things to you like, this script is for your eyes only. And then you find out 10 people got it. And you're like, gee,
I think people are going to be real obsessed with your character. Real obsessed. It's obsession worthy.
Somebody growled when we picked her up.
She was
Let
sleeping and she really growled
let-
nastily at me, but she should see everybody.
Winnie wants you to vote.
Winnie wants you to vote. If Winnie could vote, she would.
Look
Winnie
at that.
voted for Biden. Yeah, look at her.
She just growled at me because I
I
picked her up
heard
and she was just lying down for a nap.
This is a new thing she's doing where we go to pick her up or move her and she's like, "Hello."
Look at the face. Look at that little. I love you
We
both.
love you.
For
We love
talking
you.
to
Leslie.
Call me later.